guys, Melissa again. I am just throwing these videos out to help as many people as I can. Okay, so today I want to talk about this book, Forgiven and Set Free. This is a book about healing after you've had abortion. And this is where my heart really is. My heart is not only to help on the sidewalks and help at the pregnancy centers and speak up against abortion bills, which I have done. I've done it 2019. I spoke up. I shared my testimony. 2020, I was on the sidewalk. 2021, I was speaking again against bills via Zoom for the State House in hearings with the Executive Council. I also have been looking around at the needs that are needed in New Hampshire to fight for life. I have been busy working on my own story. I have been busy looking at Abby Johnson, Lila Rose. These two women were always someone I admired in the background as I raised my 5 sons. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at radio stations to talk on. And what I really want, and this is why I'm looking forward to the radio stations too, is I want to get to the heart of girls and women. I really do. I tend to be that way as a mom and a homeschooler. Homeschool mom, I tend to really like to shepherd and teach the heart. So as I move into this, I want to talk about healing. And this is something that our society doesn't talk about. Our society is not letting women heal. Whether you bring it in front of a church or whether you, try to talk about it with somebody, there isn't enough being done to help women. So therefore they are carrying this load, and many times they don't even choose this. It can be coerced, like in my situation, or it can be something that a girl just doesn't even know what it is. And so therefore there is this huge wound, and she is carrying this around without anybody helping her. I remember sharing with one family member, just trying to open up and share a little bit, and she said, oh well, that's how you learn. That's how you learn in life. You go and get an abortion. And the door I immediately closed to that conversation, and I just could not believe what I was really hearing, that this is the way you learn. You go, you have sex, and then you have an abortion, and that's how you learn things. No, not true at all. I mean, many girls think that when they have an abortion, they actually are going down emotionally. They have emotional brokenness, and they are actually being attracted to more abuse. Many women have had 2 or 3 abortions or more, and they're feeling like there is this cycle that they just cannot get out of. So what you want to do is you want to avoid abortion. It's so destructive. Last night I was doing some history. I was studying as my kids were in youth group. I was in the car studying about abortion. Abortion has been with us before Christ, and I did not know this. I actually thought abortion started 47 years ago, when in fact it has long been with us, and it's always been deadly. And if we look at the history, we can see the Romans and the Greeks using this, and other cultures, and just very destructive. So we want to heal from this, and we want to have a place to be able to talk, and I think the culture is turning around. We are having care nets and pregnancy centers be available for women more to be able to heal. And we're living in a culture not just where the pregnancy centers are carrying this, but it's becoming more mainstream to talk about this. Before, women could not talk about this. It was shameful, and they didn't have a place to talk. So we definitely need to grieve our children, to have a place to even know, okay, where did I lose that baby? Was it actually in the dump when they had years ago? 87 for me, dumped the babies in the dump, or was it Or do I grieve that the baby was actually killed at the clinic where the abortion was? No informed consent at all, just a girl being brought to a clinic, not even knowing or understanding what is going on is really destructive. In that sense. So we want to be able to grieve. We want to be able to hopefully name our child if we can, be able to look at all the intricates in and outs of everything that happened, whether you had a boyfriend who abandoned you, who was not strong enough in his masculinity to stand up for you, or whether he had his family coerce him, or whether you had a mother who chose this for you and a father who shamed you and condemned you, or just the millions of things that can surround abortion. We want to be able to talk about it and to be able to heal those wounds. So this book, Forgiven and Set Free, I took a CareNet class in 2017, and it was in August, and this was the beginning of opening up a can of worms for me. This was the beginning of looking at things and being able to frame it with the gospel. So what we want to do, there's different types of healing, and I do want to start looking into this, but a lot of women are not even saved, and they are needing to heal. And my heart goes out to women who have not healed and are carrying this. They're carrying the shame and the guilt and everything that's associated with this. And it's not even so much from society they're getting it as from within, because the body doesn't lie to you. And eventually you do know, the truth comes out that you do know this was something that was a loss, something that you probably should have made a better decision. Different feelings come out, and a lot of times it's not even with society doing things. So I have a heart for women who have not healed. Those who do know Christ, I think you have a much better chance knowing God's forgiveness, but he extends it, excuse me, he extends it to everyone. God forgives as far as the east to the west, and if this is the first time you're hearing this, I want you to know we have a God who forgives. There is not a sin under the cross that can't be forgiven. Everything. God came, John 3:16, my life verse, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. God came not to condemn the world, but to save the world. So when you think of that context, there is not a sin that is not, there's no sin too big for the cross. I'm going to be going over this book. I'm going to be going through this today and give more detail about my healing process and talk about the things I went through, including just years of carrying this, being able to hear a vacuum and having flashbacks of the vacuum that was used, or being in the tub with my period. And, my periods are really heavy. They really affect me as a woman. And, just the blood in the tub and having those thoughts come back of my baby just being, all the blood in the vacuum suction machine. And this is something that affects women. I remember I could not have kids at first, and I thought God was punishing me, and on it goes. So there's many lies around abortion that are not true, and we kind of want to get through the lies and get to truth. Okay, thanks for joining me today.